Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you're studying nursing or medicine, memorizing dry, developmental milestones, man, it feels a bit like trying to memorize a random phone book, right? It's dense, it's repetitive, and let's be honest, it is incredibly easy to forget. But today, we are unpacking a source that offers a brilliant cheat code for the entire pediatric timeline.
So let me ask you, do pediatric developmental milestones just feel like this endless, impossible list to memorize? You look at a textbook and it's literally just a wall of months and behaviors completely blurring together. But what if there was a hidden pattern? A literal cheat sheet baked right into the letters and numbers we use every single day. Okay, let's dive into this and completely rewire how this information is stored in your brain.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, cracking the milestone code. Then, months 2 to 6 using letters. Next, months 9 to 18 focusing on transitions, moving into years 2 and 3 with numbers, and finally, years 4 and 5 with stars.
All right, Section 1, cracking the milestone code, unlocking the cheat sheet.
Moving right into Section 2, months 2 to 6, letters. So we're basically treating our source material like a literal code breaker's guide today. And the beautiful thing about this system is that it maps really complex neurological progress directly onto incredibly simple mnemonic anchors. To start things off, I want you to picture the letter C. When you think of a 2-month-old baby, the single letter is the key that unlocks their very first developmental threshold.
At 2 months, we have the 2C rule. Because a baby can finally hold their chin up, it actually allows their eyes to chase a face moving past them in their field of vision. Chin up, chase face, 2 C's. And naturally, making that focused eye contact brings out a beautiful first smile.
Now, as our child doubles in age, growing to 4 months old, our mnemonic code shifts down the alphabet to the letter H.
Welcome to the H rule. At 4 months, the baby establishes head control, and that's absolutely crucial because it gives them the physical stability to actually do a hand reach for objects. Plus, as their social awareness grows, this is also exactly when we get that amazing ha-ha laugh. Head, hand, ha-ha.
Reaching that half-year mark at 6 months, we introduce our final letter in this early sequence, the letter S. So at 6 months, the SSS rule takes over. Now that they can sit with support, their world really opens up, making them smile to everyone. And being upright also frees up their arms, allowing them to cleverly switch an object from one hand to another. Sit, smile, switch. It really is that easy.
Okay, Section 3, months 9 to 18, transitions. Now, what's really interesting about this next phase is that as the baby becomes much more mobile, our mnemonic code brilliantly shifts away from basic letters and straight into vivid visual metaphors. Our source introduces a weirdly specific but completely unforgettable concept for the 9-month mark. Get ready for this, the spider baby.
Just picture a little spider baby. Now, what does a spider do? Well, it crawls. And at 9 months, a baby crawls. A spider sits on a web. A 9-month-old can sit up independently, almost like they're sitting right on that web. Now, imagine that spider sees a giant stranger and gets absolutely terrified. At 9 months, a baby sees a stranger and cries. This is peak stranger anxiety. And finally, what does a spider eat? It picks up a tiny fly. This perfectly illustrates the 9-month-old's brand new motor skill, picking up a tiny object using an immature pincer grip. Crawls, sits on a web, stranger danger, and picks up a fly. I guarantee you will never look at a 9-month-old the same way again. You will never forget the spider baby.
And just like that, we've hit year number 1. The child has reached a massive milestone, turning a full 12 months old. And so our mnemonic code switches to numbers. Because it is year 1, the code gives us the incredibly elegant 1-1-1 rule. The symmetry here is just amazing. Linguistically, they speak one clear word. Physically, they grasp one object using a mature pincer grip. And when it comes to mobility, they take one independent step. 1 year, 1 word, 1 object, 1 step. Makes perfect sense, right?
Jumping slightly forward to a year and a half, the number 18 becomes our brand new anchor for 18 months.
So at 18 months, they conveniently have about 18 words in their vocabulary. But physically, they are also mastering skills that start with an S sound. They scramble around, they use a spoon to feed themselves, and they begin squatting, which is actually the crucial physical foundation for running.
Moving right along to Section 4, years 2 and 3, numbers.
Let's move to the toddler years and see how this builds, because the code gets incredibly clever here by syncing the child's exact age directly to the mnemonic rule itself. At 1 year, we had the 1-1-1 rule.
Now at 2 years, we upgrade to the 2L rule, and at 3 years, the 3R rule. The child's age literally dictates the memory trick. Let's break that down. Notice how the numbers game dictates everything here. A 2-year-old puts 2 words together, uses 2 feet to go upstairs, and masters skills with a double L sound, like kicking a ball, with 2 L's, and engaging in parallel play. But at 3 years old, they string 3 words together. They can draw circles, which is one continuous 360-degree line, and they graduate to riding a tricycle, or as the code beautifully reminds us, a 3-cycle. It really is a game changer for memorization.
Finally, Section 5, Years 4 and 5, stars.
At 4 years old, we rely on the F rule. Because a child can now speak in a full sentence, it allows them to graduate into interactive friend play. Physically, they're energetic enough to do a foot jump, hopping on 1 foot, and cognitively, their fine motor skills let them follow and draw a cross. Full sentence, friend play, foot jump, follow, cross. 4 Fs for 4 years.
And by year 5, the child's development is so incredibly advanced, they actually earn a 5-star rating. Let's spell out that star step by step. S stands for skipping, which is a major upgrade from running. T stands for triangle. They can now draw a multi-angled shape. A means they are amazingly fluent in their speech, and R stands for rule-based play, meaning they can actually understand and follow the rules of a game with others. Skipping, triangle, amazingly fluent, rule-based play. 5-star.
So, we've cracked the code all the way from 2 months up to 5 years. Before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick code cracking test. Without looking back at your notes, what real-world medical milestone does a 9-month-old spider baby picking up a tiny fly represent? Think about it for a second. If the phrase immature pincer grip just popped into your head, you have successfully hacked pediatric development. Keep making these vivid connections, and I promise you, these milestones will be with you long after the exams are over. Thanks for tuning in.